My name is Bianca Rhym, and I work at Kennedy Space Center in the Gateway Deep Space Logistics Project Office. I'm the Research and Technology Studies Manager. That's a long title, but what it means is that I get to look at ways that we can close technology and capability gaps to meet our mission, and also ways that we can develop new capabilities to do things that we aren't even tasked to do at this time, but we think that will be needed in the future. And this is my origin story. I was always pretty good at math, and I always attributed that to being good at following instructions, because that's kind of what you do with math and recognizing patterns. So I was able to understand what steps you need to do to solve a problem, and I could recognize a problem in different forms and figure out how I could put it into the form that the instructions were given for, and follow the instructions. So everyone always said, you should be an engineer. And I thought, why? I didn't get it. But I liked solving problems. I liked challenges and puzzles and things like that, and just didn't put two and two together. But I kind of came to it in a roundabout way. I was a salesperson, and we would always have these different a 10-step sales process, a 5-step sales process. There was always these steps, and I broke it down. Finally, I uncovered a 2-step sales process, and it was find a problem and solve it. And so I understood at that point that I was like, oh, that's what engineering is. So that's what sparked my interest. Gosh, when I was a salesperson, I went to all kinds of businesses, and I would meet with people who did everything. I mean, some people, like, you'd be amazed at how many things people can do to make money. I met people who sold trash. They bought trash and sold trash. And so I knew I would figure out what I wanted to do in this process, because I met with people who did all types of things. So I finally met someone who was an engineer, and he just always was working on solving interesting problems. And he always asked questions that nobody else ever asked. And I liked thinking about how you could solve the problems, and even just thinking about the questions. So I kind of knew at that point that, that engineering would be something that would be a part of my life. And I'll say that it was one particular thing that I saw. It was an American Experience show on PBS. And it was about how Silicon Valley was founded. And I learned about Robert Noyce, who was the founder of Intel. And just that, the people who were out there, they knew that they were going to solve the biggest problems of the future, and that it was going to have a big impact on the world, and that they were going to make a lot of money doing it. And I wanted to be a part of that. So I knew I wanted to be an electrical engineer at that point. And I tell you, I watched that on a Friday. And on Monday, I was registering for school. Well, it's setbacks and challenges kind of keep me going. I like the challenges. And one thing I learned in sales is that, people always think you just want to go in and hi, this is what I have to offer. People say yes, yay, we won. But you don't actually get to do any selling until the people say no. So that point of saying no or hearing no is when you get to be creative and use creative problem solving. So I say this all the time. So if anyone sees this, they're going to be like, here she goes again. But, I always say that the most important skill in life to me is how to deal with disappointment. And so, because I don't care how much money you have, how beautiful you are, how smart you are, there's nothing, how lucky you are. Everybody's going to face disappointment, and it's either going to be the thing that holds you back or maybe the thing that propels you. So I am always looking for those opportunities to use it to propel me. So that's the biggest piece.